how do you feel like players like nowadays, not just in soccer, but especially in basketball, like Anthony Edwards, even you could even argue Tyree. How do you feel about having youngsters talk shit and actually kind of hate each other, like on like in the game? Like, is that good for the league? Is that bad? What is your opinion on that?
I like it, to be honest. Like, you're right. In back in the '90s, that's a whole argument that the unks have. They're always saying, at this point, not even unks, they're like gramps. But
the the Uggs down their grabs.
no, for real, because people are
Okay,
calling us unks now, and we're only like 23, 22. So they're like gramps.
nah, that's crazy.
But yeah, the argument that they have
Your
is
grand uncles.
that back in the '90s, they're like LeBron couldn't hang back here. Like back then, like no, like everyone hated each other. Everyone wanted to like basically go at each other. Now everyone's so buddy buddy, and you're right. Like now, the last couple of years, we've seen more often that it's not like that anymore. It's kind of reverting back. Like Anthony Edwards, for example, or Wemby. You know that at the end of the documentary,
Ooh.
when they
Mhm.
ask him like, who should be worried about you, and he says everywhere. Like that's cold, you know. And
Oh, that
even
shit was so cold, bro. Oh my god. Or
Anthony
Anthony Edwards
Edwards,
being like, "I'm the truth. I'm the truth." I'm like, damn, bro, that's
right?
crazy. Why do you think they're coming
Or
out this
Luca,
way
even
though?
Luca.
Like I've noticed
Luca's
Luca, man. Don't
like
even get me started on that, man.
he's like they only talk when they up. They only talk when they up, and then he goes out there and destroys them.
Dude, I know. I don't know what it is. Might be just the culture changing, but these youngsters everywhere like are just like they just don't give a damn. They don't want to be friends anymore for some reason. Like you could even argue like the people. Who was that guy for freaking like the Thompson twins? I feel like they talk hella smack too. I feel
Right.
like Ozar and Min.
Yeah.
I feel like they're hella smack talk. At least when I've seen them play, they're always super aggressive, like always like pushing players and shit. Like Draymond, and I think like players like Draymond. Especially, like, I always notice against Draymond, especially these youngsters hate his ass. It's freaking crazy because you know what? They were, to be fair, Draymond was beating a lot of these guys' teams, younger in a way. Like, not a lot of these teams, but you know what I mean? Like, they ran through a lot of teams, Golden State. So now these young kids coming into the league, they're like shit talkers, are just always going for Draymond. They just fucking hate him. And you notice, like, and I think Draymond kind of fucks with that. And I think Draymond has talked about that before. So it's gonna be very interesting when he becomes a commentator. He's just gonna be looking at all these like youngsters like talking smack. He's like, that's my type of youngster. I feel like he's gonna have his own squad of like shit talkers. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I think, yeah, you're right. I think he respects them for being able to like talk to him. And well, you know what? It's not that like trash talk completely went away during those years that all these players were teaming up.
Yeah,
It was just a little different. Like players talk trash. Usually, if you're winning, you talk trash because, well, you're winning. But the thing I like about this type
mhm,
of trash talk that these new guys are bringing, and the old heads back in the '90s, is that they do it when it's zero
mhm.
zero. When you could get embarrassed, you're like putting your pride out there. You're like putting your ego on the line, basically. Because if I tell you, hey Josie, like it's 0-0, and I tell you I'm about to destroy your ass in this one on one, and then you beat me, it's like I even though like it could have been easy for me to talk trash when I was up 5-0, but I was doing it at 0-0 when it has
Of
more
course,
impact.
of course. And I want to give you an example. So in the soccer world, right? Just to give you guys a little bit of context, the Ballon d'Or, it's almost like the MVP of the soccer world. It's just you're the best player in the world. That's what the Ballon d'Or basically is. And usually it's based on stats, trophies, and just and it's based off the whole season, and so it's based off how you are well you're doing. So to give you guys some context, this player called Dembele, who used to play for Barcelona, now plays for PSG. He's about 28 years old. He's hitting his prime right now, and he had a great season that started in January, right? So his seasons usually start in August, but his actual season away when he started popping off was January. Didn't really have any contributions until then. Yamal, youngster, 17-year-old, he had a whole season where he was just doing amazing. And he might have not been there on the stat sheet as much, but he was contributing in his own way, right? That isn't being shown on the stat sheet. Kind of like almost like Tyrese a little. Um, so what I'm saying is this, right? To bring everything back in a little loop. Yamal was talking smack the other day because they asked him, "Oh, whatever, like." who do you think deserves the Ballon d'Or or whatever, right? And he was just saying all like, well, in my opinion, it should be given to the best player who played the full season, right? While he was looking kind of digging at Dembele, who season started in January, which many argue, right? So he's kind of saying that he kind of deserves it, or his teammate Rafinha, who also deserves the Ballon d'Or because they're top three. Anyways, they asked him about it, and he's like, should they consider the game on Thursday or whatever, right? Which they played today. Today's Thursday. They played today, and he's all he said was like, then let's play Thursday. Is that what people? If that's what people want. And he actually, funny enough, they just played. Dembele scored 0 goals. He didn't contribute at all, and they actually lost the game. And Lamine Yamal scored 2 goals, and he got the best rating of the match. I think he won man of the match. I'll check it out later. And I forgot what he said. I wish I had that quote, but he's something like, oh, he said in his ending of the interview, he's all like, wait, let me get the quote. Give me a second. What was it? I think I told Valentine. What was the quote?
Yeah, you did tell me, but I don't remember
Oh,
what he said.
okay, I found it. It's better to do the talking on the field. That's what he said after the interview. So I'm telling you, by the way, this guy's 17. These youngsters do not give up. They don't care. He said he was talking shit and he backed it up. So I don't know what these guys are on. I don't know if it's because they maybe saw the last 10 years of like not that much animosity, and then they look at the like OG unks, what those guys watched, and they're like, dang, or maybe people just hate each other now. I don't know what it is. These young don't fuck with each other, and I fucking love it, bro. Low key pettiness is the best. I don't know.
No, yeah, dude, that's a good point. I actually like that you brought that up because that's the prime example of what I'm talking about. Like when he could have easily been like just said like, oh yeah, let's just take the whole season into consideration, and because obviously that puts him on top because he's been playing good the whole season. But when they asked
Yeah,
him, should we take the game on Thursday into consideration, he didn't back down. He was like, well, you know what, fuck it, let's take the game into consideration. I'm still gonna win anyways. I'm gonna do better than him anyways. And then he goes out there and he does. That's insane.
it's insane, bro. And I have the stat here. He got. Look, everybody better than Lamine Yamal until they have to play against Lamine Yamal. That's a new quote that they said. He's
Wait,
had a
he's
9.4
17
rating,
and
which
he
is
could
insane.
win Ballon d'Or. That just hit me right now.
Yeah, he might be
Would
the
that be the
youngest to win it of all
youngest?
time. Pele won it when he was like 19, I think, or another player won it when they were like 19.
Dude,
Ronaldo, I think R9 won
17
it when he was
is
19,
insane though.
and he's a top three candidate
That
right now.
could
He was
put
top
him
10
on
last year.
GOAT status. No? Like on at
Yeah,
least on the
he
trend
was
too?
low key, bro. That's what everyone's been saying. Well, he got top 10 last year. Last year, at 16 and a half, he was top 10 last year. So this year at 17, he's a top three. So listen, it's not always about stats. Like the guy who won it last year, Vinny Jr., right? And we I think I talked to my friend here earlier. I talked about Valentin about it. Vinny Jr. had the best stats in the world, essentially goals and assists, but he lost it to Rodri, which was a midfielder who just was just so important to the team, and he won the Euros and he won a bunch of cups too. So is that thing of like he has a chance to win it at 17. Will he win it? I have that thing like as the opposite of what I was saying with Pacers and OKC, Cinderella story. Cinderella story is that he wins it, bruh. Low key at 17 would be freaking insane. But I honestly think realistically, I think Rafinha is gonna win it. The Brazilian, his teammate, because he's number 2 or 3.
Oh.
Like these guys are interchanging, which is fine because Lamine loves him too, and they're teammates. They work together the whole season. And my suspicious, but this might change the narrative. This game alone, because the Ballon d'Or, the MVPs, you hear this, it's about stats or what. It's also about narratives, and
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
this narrative is massive. He might have just thrown his hat into the ring and said, "Fuck it, give it to me." But what he said, because he got a 9.4 rating, 9.4, which players in soccer average 7.5. You start with 6, by the
Bro,
way.
in
Your
FIFA
rating starts with
I am like
6.
with 5.2, bro.
So he ended with 9.4. Dembele ended with 6.8. And the other wonder kid who won with PSG, who's 19, who helped win PSG their cup the other day, he got a 6.4. And they were comparing him all week. And he shit on him today as well. He shit on his other rival, and he shit on the rival that's winning the Ballon d'Or that could possibly beat him. So I don't know what that means for the future. They do play on Sunday, the final, Portugal versus France. No,
So that will be
for
coming out
Spain
too.
on Sunday. So, and Ronaldo's playing in that too, by the way. So, Mr. LeBron James of soccer over here. He's playing at 40, at the ripe age of 40
Oh,
years
he
old, a
still is.
final. Just impressive, man. Yeah, he's their starting striker. He obviously doesn't play as much. His role is very diminished, but and he scored to be fair the last game, but it was a tap in. But he's gonna take it. But yeah, I don't know. Shit talking is back. I love it. I love it. I love the pettiness. This is what makes fans want to watch the game. And you know what? It does make fans hate these players too. If you're not a fan of the player, you're gonna hate it. Like imagine Steph with like that. He talks shit, bro. Like low key, he does this and all this other stuff. But imagine Steph just talking hella smack, bro. Like hella shit. Like people would hate him so much, but at the same time, it's like
That's what makes it
I don't know,
fun. That
man.
you
You
have
sometimes
someone to
need
hate
that.
on. Sometimes as
That's
a
what makes it
fan,
fun.
you need someone to hate on. You need someone to be the villain. Like we were talking about last episode, and I think that that's a good thing. Like when you have a player that's willing to be a villain, that's even better.